before you send out your CV, that you critically review your CV. Review it. Please give to somebody to help you review. Give to somebody who sees better than you, who is more knowledgeable than you are, to help you review your CV. Avoid those typographical errors. Don't tell me it's ordinary typo. It is an error. Don't give it a baptismal name, typo. It is error. Avoid typographical errors. Don't, you want to do English. You want to write English, and maybe you are in a hurry. You write ENGISH or ENGLSH, or even put ENGLIS, and you forget the H, and you say the person should know now that it's English I wanted to write. How would the person know? Do not assume that the person reviewing your CV should know. The person does not owe you any obligation to know what is in your mind. So review your CV well. Give to somebody else to help you review, to ensure that you do not have typographic errors. Then grammatical errors. That one is very serious. Now, you are writing a job you did last year. You are no longer on that job. And you are now writing concerning that job in the present continuous form. Do you understand what I mean? You are writing in the present continuous form, as if you are still doing that. That is grammatical error. Or you are writing about your current job, and you're not writing in the past. So the recruiter will be wondering, so if this is what you did, what are you doing now? And the person cannot see what you are doing now. So pay attention to your tenses. Pay attention to your tenses. Very, very important. Pay attention to your tenses. Ensure you proofread. Errors present very negative impressions about us. Remember that first impression matters a lot, and your CV is your first impression. Okay. Then, another problem we'll see with CV is that most times CVs lack specificity and they lack quantifiable measures. So I give you an example. Somebody is writing a CV, saying, I'm a team player. What does it mean to be a team player? I don't know if you understand. Those are the things we see. I'm a fast learner. I don't understand. I don't know what it means to be a fast learner. Neither do I know what it means to be a team player. Whatever you're putting in your CV, make sure it is quantifiable and it can be verified. So don't write those bogus. There are some very bogus statements I see in TV. At times I will just laugh. I use it to do stress relief. You know, so you see somebody that maybe just is writing, I'm a fast learner, a very good team player. I am excellent. I don't even know all of those things. Very innovative, you know. And there is nothing to verify those things. Whatever you are writing. So instead of saying, I'm a team player, for instance, you can say that you have worked with maybe cross-functional teams. And you should be able to state what you did with the teams. So we know that you've actually done the work, that you're not trying to confuse us with English. So write things that are quantifiable. Don't write generic statements like these ones I've made. Team player. Team player. If I ask us to produce all our CVs, I'm sure I will see 90% of us writing team player, fast learner. What is the other one? You were saying something. The next thing, one of those things we write now. So do not make generic statements. Be specific. All right. So show what you have done. So I have led cross-functional teams. You can say I've led large teams, maybe 100 people in a team or 50 people in a team. So if I see your CV that you have led a team of 50, I will be able to gauge your capacity. You understand what I mean? Yeah. Even if you've not led a team, you have worked with teams. You don't even need to tell me I'm a team player. You have worked with teams. I know that, okay, you're able to work with teams. Then when I come to engage you, I'll find out from you how many times you fought while working. How many times you quarreled with everybody on the team. You don't need to tell me you're a team player. There are some questions I will ask you. I know whether you are really a team player or not. Okay. All right, so how do you structure your CV for impact? How do you structure your CV for impact? Like I said earlier, when somebody picks up your CV, the person shouldn't develop eye problem. So you start with your contact information. Remember that after your CV has been reviewed, if you qualify, the next thing will be to do what? To contact you. So what if you do not have your contact information on your CV? What will happen? So ensure that the email address you are putting on your CV, ensure that the phone number you are putting on your CV are all functional. And that you check that email regularly. In fact, if you're here, you're a career person, you're looking for a job or you're in a job, after your morning devotion, the next thing you should do shouldn't be TikTok. It's your what? Your email. Check your email. Somebody could have reached out to you. I missed an opportunity maybe 10 years ago. I missed an opportunity. So I've been prospecting this company to consult for them. I've written proposals and everything. But somehow that period would I say my hands were full? All right. And I was busy with something. And I didn't check that email for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Only for my contact person to call me. And he said, my guy said he sent you an email over a week ago and you've not responded. That was when I went to check. Actually, what happened was I was consulting and I was doing a full-time job. I was a full-time employee, and I was beginning to branch out to consult because I was planning my exit. So the demands of my job that time, I didn't have time to check my private email. And I lost that opportunity today. So how will it look like you are looking for a job, you've applied for a job, and they've reached out to invite you for an interview, and you don't check your email? All recruiters are not kind-hearted. Me, out of church mind, most times I go out of my way to place a call to say, I sent you an email. Did you get my email? Please check your email. In fact, these days, because I know that most young people, they are on WhatsApp. After sending you the email, I still send you a message on WhatsApp, but I'm not obligated to do that. So please check your emails regularly. Make sure that the email you put is a functional email. And it doesn't take anything for you to have a functional email. Just create one Gmail and check the email every day. Ensure that your phone number is correct and is your number. And peradventure you use somebody's number, let the person know. Maybe something is wrong with your number, you don't have a number. Let the person know that you sent out a CV and his number is what you used. So when they call and the person answers, say, are you so and so person? The person will know how to respond. Like I say, okay, sorry, he stepped out. You don't even need to say, no, is in mama phone. No, this is what happened to me last month. So I got a contact, in a CV, and I called the number, and somebody answered. I said, please, can I speak with so and so? They say, na in mama phone be this. I know day house now. When I reach, I don't go market. When I reach, I go. So you use somebody's number. Please let the person know that I submitted a CV and your number is on that CV. In case they call, please, this is how to respond. It is not a crime not to have a number. It is not a crime not to have a phone. It's not a crime. All right. So ensure that you have functional phone numbers and CV and email. Then coming to emails, make sure that your email address makes sense. Somebody say makes sense. So I've seen some email addresses. shababy2024@yahoo.com. Is it funny? I'm serious. Shababy. J-boy. No, J-boy is my son. No, my son is J-boy. Lizzie baby. I even saw one, sexy mama. I saw this one, sexy mama. Sexy mama. They say you're the one that sent it. It's a man. That one is a mama, not a... And I'm wondering which employer will call this person, even if you are qualified. I have also seen an email address, Slave Queen for Life. Please, when you want to create an email address that you use to job hunt, please let your email address make sense. Use your name. Use your name, your full name even, your surname. My email address on Gmail, chinenyeedward@gmail.com, full stop, is my full name. So some of those abbreviations, nicknames, slangs, most times they give very negative impression about you. I saw one too, the Yahoo boy. That's D, capital D, and say Yahoo, YAHU. And I'm wondering, then for people that put their pictures on their CV, please put a professional picture. A relative of mine reached out to me. Let me see if I will see that CV. A relative of mine reached out to me some weeks ago. And she's been worrying me. The son needs a job. The son needs a job. I said, okay, I'll find it. And she sent me the CV. Bros, if you see the picture on that CV, I had to beg the woman. I said, Biko, don't be angry. Change it. Let me see if it will open. I don't know if you can. I can't download it. I think maybe I've deleted it. If you can see. This is a boy. Plaited hair. Okay, let me show guys. I can't download it. I've deleted it. So this is the picture on the CV. It's a guy. You've seen it. If you are the recruiter, what will you do? This is a boy. He's a fine boy. So please, if you are putting your picture, please let it be a professional picture. Please, I beg you. Because your CV is your first impression, and it's very important. It matters a lot. Okay. Then, goes to your personal statement. So your personal statement on your CV is like that statement that shows your value. Your personal statement should answer the question, what value am I bringing? What value am I bringing? So we say that personal statement must be concise. It must really reflect your unique value and make sure that it aligns with the role and the industry you are applying for. So an example of a personal statement, remember that statement has to be very compelling. So I read something here. All right, so something like experienced project manager with a track record of leading cross-functional teams to deliver complex, high-impact projects on time and within budgets. Over the past 7 years, I've successfully managed product launches, digital transformations, and process improvement initiatives that increased operational efficiency by up to 30%. I'm known for my ability to turn ambiguity into action. I bring strong analytical thinking, a collaborative leadership style, and a commitment to driving measurable business outcomes. I'm seeking an opportunity to contribute to a forward-thinking organization where I can continue to grow while helping the organization achieve their strategic goals. I saw this somewhere. This is actually long, but it is good. It is long, really long, but it is good. What the person was trying to do was to show the value he's bringing, show what he has done. In fact, if you read this personal statement, you may decide not to go through the rest of the CV. You may decide to just engage the person in a chat. So let's discuss, let's talk. This personal statement is already a full CV. So ensure that your personal statement is not this long, but it shows the value you bring. That's the important thing. It should show the value you bring. All right, so after your personal statement, your contact address, your personal statement, the next thing that we want to see will be your experiences. And inside that session, we should be looking at your skills. Employers are not looking for certifications. We are looking for who will solve our problem. Except where the employer has specified a certain certification, say it has added advantage, you now emphasize it. Remember that I said that when you get a job opening, an advert, read it and find out what is required. So the employer has said a certification in maybe project management is compulsory or has an added advantage. Then you know that you emphasize it. If not, what an employer wants to see is how you will solve his problem, not how many certificates you have. Years ago, I was in a panel interviewing chartered accountants, maybe 15, 16 years ago. And this guy came. He was on a well-tailored suit, very neat. He carried his big bag. And when I actually saw his CV looked very impressive. And we invited him. He was a chartered accountant, chartered forensic auditor, chartered in so many ways. And he couldn't answer the simplest accounting question. In fact, we spent so much time trying to see if we could get something from him. And when he left, in fact, when he came in, the way he entered, you could see that he was very proud of his achievements. So he sat down, he started bringing out his certificates. He laminated all of them and was just bringing them out. We looked at them. We were happy to see them. We were really happy. But when we asked the simplest accounting question that somebody who read OND accounting should know, he didn't know it. When he left, my MD asked the CFO, say, do they buy ICANN these days? Because we used to know that ICANN is one profession that if you have ICANN, you are a good accountant. My MD asked, do they buy ICANN this? Do they pay to have? Because we couldn't imagine it. A lot of young people, they graduate from the university and they are at home. I tell people, While you are at home, look for volunteering jobs, volunteering opportunities. Go and do that work with your auntie's company, even though she will not pay you salary. Do it. Because in doing it, you acquire skills, you get experience. But people will prefer to go and be getting certificates. You see somebody who read business administration, for instance, and the person is telling you he has HSC 1, 2, 3, 4. They have NEBOSH. They have, in fact, divergent certifications. As if the person is saying, let me just do all, anyone that works, I will take. When a recruiter sees that, the message you are passing across is that, recruiter, behold, I lack focus. So here am I lack focus. That's the message. That's the message. So if you're a young person and maybe your career path is not clear yet, there's no problem about that. Find yourself a job. It doesn't matter whether they are paying you or they are not paying you. Do it. But doing that job that they are not paying you, with the experience you garner from that job, you get the one that they will pay you. I have a sister. When she finished, in fact, before she went for youth service, she came to visit me, and I asked her, so what are you going to be doing until service? He said, I don't know, I'm going back to Aba to stay with my mother. Her mother used to stay in Aba. I said, so what will you be doing? I said, come and walk. This was maybe 22 years ago. I said, come and walk. And I helped her get a job. A man that we know. My father is a priest. He's an Anglican priest. So my father has this member that lives in Port Harcourt. So each time my mother comes, they visit them. And so I knew the man. He has a small company. So I went to meet the man. And the man gave her that job. And the man was paying her 4,000 naira. 4,000 naira. And that's 20 years ago, 1994. 1994 is 20 years ago. 21 years ago, yes, around that 94. 31. Then it's 2004. No, it's 2004, not 94. 2004. And the man was paying her 4,000 naira. My immediate brother, my sibling, wow. Ruth, if they ask people who are working to raise the hand, you raise your hand to 4,000 naira. I told her, I said, don't mind him, do it. So she was on that 4,000 naira job. She went for youth service. And she still retained the job. And she served in Port Harcourt. So after youth service, the man increased the salary to 5,000. Then after a while, he increased to 6,000. Then one day, she came back from work. Then my second to the last brother was doing youth service. He said, sister, they have increased my salary. And I was hoping to hear something reasonable. I said, how much? He said, 8,000. My brother gave her a very good. I told her, I said, don't be discouraged. Do it. As after all, you are not paying house rent. You are not feeding yourself. And the company happened to be very close to my house. I said, you are not even paying transport. Do it. Just be doing it until you get a job. She was on that job, 8,000. This was like 2 years after NYS, 8,000. And she came back one day. And she said, somebody met me at work today. So they used to work in One. And the guy was impressed. And the guy approached her and said, please, can I get your CV? So it was a competitor organization. So this one was a Nigerian-owned company. That one was owned by foreigners. And she sent the CV. She didn't know that they had done the interview as they were conversing. And the next thing, they gave her offer, 45,000. Brother, no be progress. Not progress. 45,000. And it was like big money. So she went to that 45,000 naira job. And she didn't do it for 6 months. She got another job, 150. And she entered that company. And from 150, they moved her to 250. And from 250, she kept moving until today, she's the MD CEO of her own company. But she started somewhere. I've heard people that say, if they don't pay me 100,000, I will not do. Stay there. You might stay forever. Every job you do counts for you. Because that experience, you cannot buy it. You cannot buy it. When they will be looking at your experiences, they may not ask you. Even if they ask you, how much is your current salary? That's how to answer that question too. Years ago, my younger brother, he's an accountant. So before he got his ICANN, he was working with an audit firm, and they were paying him 15,000. He had opportunities to move to some better paying jobs, and he said no. I asked him why. He said, there is no place that will give me the time to read and pass ICANN. So I'll stay here and pass my ICANN. So he stayed, he passed ICANN. In fact, he's another person I know that is chartered in almost everything charterable, But he's doing well. So he passed ICANN, got chartered in a lot of things, and a multinational invited him for an interview. And he scaled through. So when they asked him, how much are you expecting? He told them how much he was expecting. That time, it was about the same 2004. And he said to them, 300,000. And they asked, what is your current salary? His current salary was, I told you, 15,000. Do you know what he said to them? He said, life is about making progress. Life is about making progress. My last salary is not really important. We are talking about progress. Because he said he didn't know how to tell them 15,000 and you're coming to ask for 300,000. But the role he interviewed for was a role worth 300,000. The experience he had, the things he could do, he had qualified him, he could do that job. But to say 15,000. So don't even bother about it. Get that job. It's better you are doing that job. I've also seen people that say, how much was your salary? And say, I was not on a salary. Be honest about it. People have to say, it was 10,000, but I was doing it because it was better to be engaged and build my experience portfolio than to be idle waiting for that big job. There's no employer. Like I told you, employers are looking for who will solve their problems. Praise the Lord. All right, so let's talk about interviews. Interviews. So when you've sent your CV and they've called you, you are now preparing for interview. Remember that before you sent your CV, you've paid attention to what they are looking for. You've tried to research the organization. It's possible that the advert will not carry the name of the organization, but at least you've researched the role. So that one is okay. Now, when they invite you for interview, you now know the organization that is inviting you. The first thing you do is to research that organization. Find out who are they? What do they do? Who are they? What do they do? You need to equip yourself. There is nothing as bad as going for interviews unprepared. So an interviewer asks you, so have you researched our organization? You say, no, not really. I've not had time. Even if you got a call an hour ago to attend the interview, it's enough for you to research the organization. Just Google it now. What do they do? At least know the basics. Even if you don't know everything they do, know the basics. All right. So the number one thing you do, towards a successful interview is to do what? Research the organization. Now, interviews these days, most interviews are virtual. So you need to get comfortable with technology. Be very comfortable with technology. I said earlier on that first impression matters a lot. So the way you show up for an interview will determine whether you will pass or you will not pass. Even if it is a virtual interview. Don't say because I'm doing interview from my toilet, so I'll wear boxers. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So even if it's a virtual interview, please dress like you are attending a face-to-face interview. Dress well. If you are a lady, let your hair be neat. Let your jewelries be moderate. Let your makeup be moderate. If you must wear makeup, be moderate. Guys, don't wear shirt and open your button. We don't want to see the dry chest. We are not looking for your six-pack. My son says 6 packs. I don't know what that thing is. So don't wear that thing that will show us your 6 packs. No. Dress according to the role you are being interviewed for. I'm not saying you must wear shirt, tie, and suit. No. You could actually wear a smart t-shirt depending on the role. So, but just ensure that you dress appropriately, even if it is a virtual interview. Then, when you get to the interview, there's what we call stress interview. Stress interview. So, you get to an interview and you come out, you say, now, wow, this interview today, there's one woman, I don't know whether that woman now with you. The woman just see me, hate me for no reason. The woman just they find fault with everything. Have you had that experience before? It's part of the interview. It's called stress interview. So the person wants to really make things difficult for you, to frustrate you, to see what you do when you get to that level at work that somebody is frustrating you. But why? That's part of the interview. Especially if it's going to be a front-facing role. You know, you meet customers every day that can even abuse you. So you can see somebody on the panel abusing you. So the person just wants to know what will be your reaction should a customer abuse you. So my friend some time ago applied for a sales position some years back. So he got into the interview and It's one of these beverages company. I've forgotten the company. I think there was these people that do Bonvita, Ovaltine, Milo. Yeah, so all those products were there on the table. And he walked in and they welcomed him. And they say, you can make yourself a cup of tea. Yeah. So they just say, you're welcome. So you can make yourself a cup of beverage. So he walked to the table. I think it was either Milo that was interviewing him. I think he had sense. So he took Milo. He had sense. He took Milo. So he came. Then one woman was just on his case. The woman was just making life miserable for him. He said he was enduring it. But at a point, it was like there was an outburst. And that was how he lost that job. So I've talked about face-to-face interviews. There's virtual interview. Virtual interview could be telephone conversation. It could be telephone. It could be video. It could be telephone. But in all, know that you are being interviewed. I'm Igbo. There's this adage in my place. They say that anaya market nanka. So you don't learn how to use the left hand in your old age. So the habits you form over time will show up one day during an important interview. So you are fond of somebody calls you, your phone rings. Yes. No, Onyeneku is even nice. Yes. Who is this? What? How did you get my number? Learn telephone manners. There's nothing wrong with your phone rings. You don't even know the person. Hello, good morning. Does it remove anything from you? Hello, good afternoon. How may I help you? Because the way you answer that call will tell the person the type of person you are. So the interview begins with your first, when you pick up that call, your time starts now. And you may ruin it for yourself just with how you answer the call. Then sisters, don't spoil show for your husband if you are married. Or maybe you are about to marry, is your boyfriend. No go put sansan for Ngari. So the phone rings and you pick up the phone and you now hear a lady's voice. Why can't they call my boyfriend now? Why they call my husband? I'm telling you the things we have seen. Yes. I used to have a laundry guy. So I gave him my clothes to London and I told him, please, I'm traveling Saturday morning with these clothes. I want to have them back on Friday. So Friday, he didn't bring the clothes. By 6 p.m., I started calling him. And he wasn't picking the call. Around 8, I called. A lady now picked the call. And I say hello. As he heard my voice, she heard my voice. I dey warn you now, may you no call this number again. Why they already leave my man alone? I believe my husband alone now. I was like seriously? I said, please, tell your husband to please bring my clothes. And I ended the call. And I said, she doesn't even know that it is this call that is paying her house rent, putting food on her table. And I even heard after that day, say they never pay for in head. So please, when you take that call, be polite. Be very polite. Answer politely, knowing that the interview starts now. So some of the questions you hear or they ask you during interview. So when they say, okay, so tell me about yourself. About yourself. Your time starts now.
Yes, go ahead.
Like my yes. Good morning, Ma. My name is Ogechi Aguma. I'm a graduate of political science from Rivers State University. I'm done with my service and I volunteer at a small medium scale enterprise as a customer service representative.
I'm even happy, I'm impressed that I didn't hear I'm from Ahia Zumbise. Born to a family of 10 children, I'm the 8th. And I'm the 7th girl. My mother is the 2nd wife. So when you hear that question, tell us about yourself. Remember that the employer is looking for who will solve his problem. And in the advert, you must have seen what the problems are. So when you say, tell us about yourself, please show the interviewer the things you are bringing with you to solve his problem. So it's good to say, I'm a graduate of political science. It's good to say, these are the things I've worked, but above all, show your achievements. So that first 1 minute, sell yourself. So tell me about yourself is an open check given to you. Is an open slate given to you to do what? Sell yourself. So organize your thoughts from home. Know who you are. Know the problems you can solve. And be bold about it. I tell people that confidence is not pride. Confidence is not pride. All right. So when you hear, why do you want to work here? Why do you want to work here? Why do you want to work here?
Good day, man. Why I want to work here? No, I don't know. No, I don't know.
No, I didn't.
Anything.
Okay, if the question, why do you want to work here, comes, I would say I personally am drawn to the company's goals, which might be gender equality, team individual development and career advancement and all that. I would also say that I also want to bring to bear my experience, and also in trying to bring my experience, learn more.
So you've told me that you are like 95% selfish. So it's all about you. Remember, the employer is looking for who will solve his problem. Let it be at the back of your mind. So why do you want to work here? You've seen the advert, you've understood what the problem is. So you let the employer know that you understand that they may be having a problem along this area, and I have the expertise. So I like to work here because I see this place as a platform for me to bring my expertise to solve your problem. So just show that you want to solve a problem for them. You want to bring value to them. But when you are saying, I can see that you send people on training, I want to be trained, the person just knows that if things don't go, if you don't get as much as you wish to get, you might not be a good employee. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So in answering that question, please remember that you need to bring forth your value. What value? So you'll be hearing things like, what are your strengths, your weaknesses? Don't go and say, I don't have any. You know, I like to tell my failure stories when I interview. So I can talk about my good parts, but I also let you know the areas I have failed. So when you show or when you share your failure stories, it tells the employer that you have learned from that failure. It shows the employer that you are not going to repeat the same mistake in his employment, in his company. You understand? So be truthful, be honest to say, these are my weaknesses, I am working on it. Be honest to show where you have failed before. And please, in showing where you have failed before, do not leave it like you are still in that fallen state. Show how you have risen from that failure. Show how you have improved yourself. Then it is not also, it's not a crime for you not to know something. You must not answer all the questions. So they ask a question you don't know. Instead of you trying to manipulate them or to confuse them in your heart, you think you are confusing them. You are not confusing them. Just say, I don't know. Like somebody said something. There was somebody that was talking when I came. Asked about an acronym. He said, I don't know. But you've given me an opportunity to go find out what it is. So there is nothing wrong with saying, I do not know. But I am going to learn it. I'm going to find out what it is. Nobody knows everything. Okay. Then you could be asked, you know, they've looked at your CV, all the things you claimed, you know. They now ask you a question, say, maybe describe how you've done something, maybe something you've claimed to have done in the CV. There is an approach I would like to share with us. I call it the STAR approach. STAR, star. It brings out your shine. All right. So when you have such a question, first of all, you need to present the scenario, the situation. So it could be in my former job, in my previous job, or while in school, or while I was volunteering. Create that scenario where it happened. Number 2, show the task you were required to accomplish. So what was the problem that needed solution? Number 3, the A, what did you do? The action. What did you do? So what did you do to solve that problem? And the R, what results did you get? So while you are preparing for interviews, try to create some scenario-based questions. Looking at your CV, the things you have claimed in your CV, because they are all, you are claiming it, they are all claimed until you prove that you've actually done those things, and you'll be able to answer the questions. Okay. Now, let's look at your body language. Body language is very important. Body language includes your mannerism when you speak. There are people that will say, as in, At times, it wearies the person listening to you. Learn to speak good and straight English. You must not speak funel. You must not. If you don't know how to speak it, don't try. Just speak good, straight English. Then for those of us who are used to chewing, don't go attending an interview with your gum in your mouth. No matter how your mouth sour rich. Don't chew. Even when you are attending a virtual interview that the person is not seeing you, don't chew. You know that when you chew and you talk on the phone, the person listening to you know that you are chewing. Do not chew. Please do not chew. Don't even put sweet in your mouth. Dress properly. Dress properly. Dressing properly does not translate into putting on expensive clothes. You can put on that okreka, okay, but well washed and well ironed. Polish your shoe. If you don't have money to buy polish, at least a day before the interview, give it to Aboki to polish for you. Sisters, don't try to appear trendy and you wear inappropriate clothes. I tell people that you cannot get it wrong with black. You can't get it wrong with what? Black, especially for the ladies. You don't attend the interview, there are colors that are formal colors. But in case you don't know, you can't get it wrong with black. Just do your black. You'll be fine. Don't wear clothes that are revealing. Don't wear clothes that are too short that you now sit, you are so uncomfortable. You are trying to adjust your short clothes. And because you are trying to adjust, the person in the interview will be asking, be wondering who is playing the music you are dancing to. Because he keep dragging your clothes. I ask people, if you must drag the clothes, why did you wear it? Why? So dress neatly. Then when you are smiling, be genuine with your smile. Don't force it. Don't force the smile. Be genuine and be generous with your smile. Be genuine and be generous with your smile. I didn't say giggle. Just smile. Try to maintain eye contact. The beautiful thing about maintaining eye contact is that it tells you when you are putting your interviewer off. It tells you when you are impressing them. It tells you when they are feeling disappointed. So learn to look at their faces. It will help even to adjust your answers. Do not fiddle with your hands. You'll be pressing your hand, or some people are so used to pressing phone that even they attend the interview, they are pressing phone. No, I'm serious. I'll be wondering, if I would have to ask somebody, what are you looking for inside that phone? Can't it wait? It's reflex action. So when you are even trying to express yourself, you gesticulate, you use your hand movement, please do not overdo it. Then, some mistakes you must avoid. Don't ever arrive late to an interview. If you do not know the place, go a day before to find out, or leave very early. These days, we even have Google Map. Leave early and use your map. If you cannot go a day before, try to use the map. Look at the location. Find out. Ask some questions. Ask Google. Google will tell you. Ask people around you if they know that area. And there's nothing wrong with reaching out to the person who sent you the invite to say, I am not familiar with this part of town. The person will be very happy to direct you. So don't arrive interview looking harassed, sweating like, you will lose composure. The questions you will naturally answer, you will not be able to answer because you're already panicking, you are fidgeting. So arrive early, compose yourself. Then, there's this question. So why do you want to leave your current employer? Why do you want to leave your current employer? Who will help us answer that question? Why do you want to leave your current employer? Yeah, I need a volunteer. Okay.
Okay. The last time I encountered such question, what I actually said, I don't know if it's going to help, but this was my answer. Change is a constant thing. In life, we need to grow. So I think it's time for me to grow, and that's why that was my answer.
So that's a good answer. But I've heard people saying, why do you want to change? That man was owing us salary. 2 months like this, the man has not paid. Even if the man was paying you salary, please do not say it. Do not badmouth your previous employer or even your current employer. Say all the nice things about them. There is no employer, no matter how bad they are, that they don't have 1 or 2 good things. Please find out 1 or 2 good things about them and hold on to them. Say good things about. Don't ever say negative things about your previous employer. When you do, you are telling your prospective employer that very soon life is turn by turn. But it's true. That's why you're telling that very soon your turn will come. And I will also say negative things about you. Even if they are owing you, please do not say it. Even if you are so aggrieved with that employer, please do not say negative things about your current employer or your previous employer. Then, don't interrupt the interviewer. Be patient. Be calm. If you don't even know when to come in, you can ask. Maybe the person has come to the end of whatever has paused. You can ask, can I respond now? And the person say, go ahead. So don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Allow your interviewer to land, and you can ask when to respond. Don't be talkative. There are some people, they can talk without even giving them, the interviewer, an opportunity to say anything. Learn when to pause. Let it be that you pause and they'll tell you, go ahead, continue. All right? Then, or you now be forming deaf and dumb. You know, you just be looking, they'll be talking, you'll be looking. At the time when they ask you, now nod. You are not lizard. They want you to talk. They want to hear you talk. Don't nod. Or they ask you, do you have a question? You say, no, I'm okay. It means that you have not done your research well. It means that you are not curious. And if you are not curious, then you have a learning problem. You will not be able to learn. When you get to an interview, first of all, find out if there are rules. Maybe they are leaving an instruction. Please pay attention to every instruction. So if they say, talk to us about yourself in 5 minutes, please ensure you stop when it's 5 minutes. If not, when it's 4 minutes, 30 seconds. You know what I mean? So please stick to instructions and follow. All right, so after the interview, what do you need to do? After the interview, what do you need to do? You can send a follow-up email saying thank you. You're not thanking them by faith that they've employed you. Remember that they may not be sharing your faith with you. So don't say, I am sending this email to thank you for employing me by faith. Just say, thank you for your time. Thank you for your warm reception. Thank you for the opportunity you gave me to learn. I learned. Find out. There must be some things you learned from that interview. Put them forth. So send a follow-up email to say thank you, and do that within the first 24 hours after the interview. So say thank you. In fact, it's better you do it immediately you get home. You do that. Then show that you are still interested. So the things you couldn't sell during the interview, you can sell them now. Show that you are interested. You know, highlight your key learning from that interaction, and be patient. Wait for them. So do not harass the interviewer. So you call today, you call tomorrow. You don't harass the person. Know that most times that this recruitment process has a timeline. They are doing something. Your CV might not be the only one they are reviewing, or you might not be the only person they interviewed. So there is a timeline. Do not harass the daylight out of them. Then reflect in your performance and be available. Be available. So what are the tips I would like to share with us for success? Practice your answers. There's nothing wrong with doing rehearsal at home. Carry mirror. Stand before the mirror if you don't have an audience. If you cannot constitute a panel in your house, be your own interviewer. Carry mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. Ask yourself those questions. Because you've seen the advert. You know your CV. So most times employers will ask you questions based on your CV. So ask yourself those questions. Be the devil's advocate and answer yourself. So practice your responses, practice your answers. I've said it before, research the company, research the role. You can prepare your own questions. Be confident but not arrogant. And please stay positive throughout the process. So even if it's a stress interview, they are trying to, be that witch, in quotes. Don't even tell them. Don't let them know that you have discovered that they are the witches and wizards in your life. Just flow along. Be patient. They will not slap you. All right. So finally, let me share a story. So when I finished my youth service, I worked in a company for 2 years. I was a casual staff. And when they were doing, what do they call, right, sizing. So they decided to lay off all the casual staff. So I didn't have a job. I was home. So one day I heard, if it was my husband, I heard that one company was recruiting. And somebody said, tell her to bring her CV. So I took my CV and I submitted that day, and I was asked to wait for the interview. When I got to the front desk, it happened that the front desk officer was somebody I knew before that time. So we had worked together before in that my old place. I said, you came for these people. Now, wow, yesterday, there was this lady that came for the interview. She has masters and 10 years experience. When I heard that, my heart failed me. I was maybe 2 years post NYC experience, and it wasn't even core experience. I was just doing a casual job, So I wouldn't say that I have any real experience. So and I heard that somebody came the previous day with master's degree in that field, in administration, and 10 years experience. It was enough to ask myself, what hope do you have? But well, I was there. So I went in and I met this lady. Looking at her, we could pass for age mates. And I said to her, good morning, ma. It did not remove anything from me. Good morning, ma. Looking at her, I could say that, in fact, she was just a year older than me because we finally worked together. But I said to her, my first contact, good morning, ma. With my genuine smile. I used to smile before. Now I don't know if I still smile. Like the problems of this world. And without my beautiful smile. And that was it for me. I've never met her before. And she was like, good morning, how are you? She said, come and sit down. There was a lady that came here yesterday. She has masters with 10 years experience. What the front desk person told me. He said, but I don't like her. She was too full of herself. She's not going to get this job. I'm serious. And she said to me, sit down. I sat. He said, my boss is not around. He's British. So when he speaks, you will not hear him. But whether you heard him or you did not hear him, this is what he is saying. He's been asking all the people that came for interview this same question. So whatever he says, whether you hear or you did not hear, this is what he is saying. These are the answers he is expecting to get. And she gave me that preparatory service. And she said to me, go and wait at the reception. When he comes, I will call you. And when the man came in, both of them, and he called me. And true to what she said, I didn't hear anything he said. But you know that when you are watching a foreign movie, the first time you watch the movie, you will not hear a lot of things. But when you are watching the second time, you will be... So because I've watched the movie, if the first time I was not hearing, and I was answering. So the man said, but you don't have experience. I've looked at your CV. You don't have the required experience. I said, yes, I don't. I may not have the experience, but I tell you, there is nothing too difficult about this job. I can do it. That was my first answer. So he now started asking me those questions. You know, I've rehearsed now. So I was now answering the man. So the man couldn't reconcile. You've never done this job before, but you know all the answers. And he said, okay, we'll get back to you. So I left. 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 5 weeks, I didn't hear from them. So that day I went to see a friend in that premises. And I saw a lady I met in that office. I said, excuse me, ma. I said, I interviewed with you, 5 weeks ago. Have you filled that role? He said, no. My Oga is still interviewing people. Since that day you left, he has interviewed like 100 people. I don't know what he's looking for. And I said, please, can I see him? And she asked, do you have an appointment? I said, no, I don't. He said, I don't know. And it was lunchtime. He said, I don't know. And she left. And I asked myself, what is the worst case scenario? If you go to meet this man without an appointment, what will happen? I say, he will say, you don't have an appointment. I'm not ready to see you. I said, okay. I asked myself, will he beat you? I said, no, he will not beat me. And I asked myself, even if he beats you, will you die? I said, no, there's no beating that he will beat me that will make me die. And I said to myself, go and see him. So I walked in without my smile too. Genuine smile, very genuine smile. And I greeted him, good afternoon, sir. And I said, do you recognize me? He said, sure. I said, I interviewed with you 5 weeks. He said, yes. So I said, I've not heard from you. So I just came to check. Then there was no phone. There was no GSM. So I said, I just came to check. He said, sure, that I've actually had a very hard time making a decision. I've been talking to people since then. Oyibo people, they are very sincere, very straight. He said, I've been talking to a lot of people I've had. And I told him, I said, please, just make up your mind and take me. I have come. Because he said he's been having a hard time making up his mind. And I said to him, please, make up your mind and take me. I am here now. And he laughed. He said, okay, I should wait. I waited. Then I saw another white man coming in. Then shortly, somebody came to call me. And they started asking me questions again. The same questions. The same jump I wrote that time. The same question. He didn't change anything. I was answering again. This was like I'm watching the movie for the third time. So I can even know the lines before. So, and of course, they were really, really impressed. And he said to me, this was the defining moment for me. He said to me, call us in 3 weeks' time to know if you are successful or not. And I said to him, excuse me, sir, I'm a success. Working with you does not define whether I am a success or not. I said, I am a success whether I work with you or I don't work with you. Working with you does not make me more of a success. And not working with you does not make me less of a success. Sir, I will call you in 3 weeks' time to find out if I am to work with you or not. He like, oh, okay, no problem. And I left. It was on a Friday. I left that premises maybe around 3. By 4, somebody was in my house. They say you should come and start work on Monday. I was like, how? They didn't imagine that somebody looking for a job would be that bold and confident. So you can be bold without being rude. You can be confident without being arrogant. If you know it, you know it. And I started with that company, and I worked with that company for 17 years. And I rose through the ranks until the only thing I did not become was the MD of the company. But in fact, I was even the MD because the MD was most times not around. I was the one. I grew. They changed management. I was there. You know, it is one thing for you not to know something and somebody tells you the answer. It is another thing for you to build on that answer and grow yourself. Don't expect that they will keep telling you. They were not created for you. They will not keep telling you. Go and learn some things for yourself. So that lady that took me in that day and said, sit down. She already had a master's degree as at the time we met. And she was already a senior staff as at the time we met. I got to know that she was a year older than myself, a year and some months. But what opened her up? Good morning, ma. Don't look at the person and size the person from head to toe. And you greet the person anyhow. In fact, when I went to the university in my year 1, I had issues. I was confused my first 2 weeks in school. And I decided to go look for my HOD. And I got to the office where they showed me was the HOD's office. And I saw a lady wearing an Ankara short with top. And she didn't look like a doctor, anybody. She was arranging the shelves. I actually thought that she was a cleaner because she was wearing slippers and a short. But because my parents had taught me to say, good morning, ma, good morning, sir, I still said to her, good morning, ma. But in my heart, she was a cleaner. But because I was used to greeting people that way, good morning, ma. And she said, good morning. And say, can I help you? I said, I'm looking for the HOD of. He said, you are talking to the HOD. I said, Jesus, you have saved my life today. So you could have imagined what would have happened to me 4 years in that school if my first encounter with that lady was maybe I just entered and I did not greet her. I said, I'm looking for so and so person. I'm sure her reaction would have been different. And maybe I'll not tell her, I beg, tell me, or you're not telling me, or you're telling me. My life would have finished in that school. Be respectful, be courteous. Be respectful, be courteous. Do your own part and trust God to perfect that which concerns you. The beautiful thing about it is that you're a child of God. And the Bible says that His thoughts towards you, they are thoughts of good and not of evil, to give you a hope and an expected end. But you need to do your own work. So at this point, I'd like to say thank you very much. Is there any question? Any question? Any question? I would like to. All right, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much, Madam. Thank you very much, Madam Chinyere, for me, I have been in HR for about 6 years plus, but what you have said, so many things you have said today are really new to me. So we want to say thank you very much for this insightful session. So we'll be going over to the question and answer session. We'll have our panelists, including Madam Chinyere, on stage, and then we will be answering your questions. So if you have questions, the mic will be passed around, or if you do not want us to know that you're the one asking the question, please, we will get them and I'll read it out of my phone. Thank you. So okay, thank you very much for the chairs. Madam Chinyere, please, can you take the stage? Can we have more mics? Thank you. And we'll also have our very own Elder Odongo also take the stage. Can we put our hands together as well? Then also we have our HR manager here too, Madam Esther. Also, please, can you take the stage? Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll need someone to assist me with the mic, someone on this side and someone on this side. For people who would like to ask questions. Any questions online? Okay. So I saw some people raising their hands. Okay. All right. So I believe we can run with this now because we are pressed for time. Okay, thank you, Martin.
Hallelujah.
Okay.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. Your session was very insightful. Just like you said, a lot of things were very new to me. But I want to ask the question as someone who's also in the HR space. My boss used to tell me this, and over time I've also gone to conferences and I've heard it, that everything that you have done as regards working, the career path you are taking, it's very essential. Be it volunteering job, be it paid job, be it anything, as long as it's channeled towards that career path you are, is necessary. And I heard you in the early hours of your speech, you said, don't make your CV too bulky. So, if someone has a rich CV, let me not call it rich, a CV that he or she captured every single experience and every achievement they have, and they are channeled to their career paths, and it's not contained in one page and it exceeds even 2 pages, do you advise the person cuts off some of those things or put it there, bearing in mind that you don't know, recruiters are very dynamic. What you want is what this might not be what this person wants. So you don't know the information you might be leaving out that this particular recruiter might want. So do you advise that we cut it off or we put it out there?
Okay, thank you very much, Martin, for that question, ma'am. Okay, you're going to answer that question, but I want to add as well. I've also gone through someone's CV. We are looking for a hospital coordinator, a hospital admin coordinator, and we wanted someone who had maybe been an admin manager in. It doesn't have to be in a hospital, but maybe in similar roles, or a coordinator or HR as well. So when we saw his CV and reviewed it, his CV was close to 10 pages. He listed every single thing that he had done, every single thing. He had consulted, he had been he had been a group HR manager, he had been a lot of things from when he started his career. So how best should he tailor his CV that is, or is it even proper for it to be bulky that way? I've heard people say that your CV should not be more than 2-3 pages and all of that. So we'd like you to answer that. Thank you. The mic. Okay.
Okay, remember that I said that. You remember when I said you can collect like terms and put it together? Okay, so whether you've been a group HR manager, consultant, you will agree with me that there are some roles, there are some job functions, there are some competencies that have repeated. So you collect all of them together. So you can actually abridge. So instead of listing everything you did as group HR, you list everything you did as senior HR manager. You list everything you did as HR consultant. If you look at those things, you've repeated them the 3 times or the 4 times. So you now need to craft your CV showing your key competencies, key achievements. So instead of doing a chronological CV to say from 1970 to 1975, I was in this company from 1975 to 19. So you have already given a summary in your personal statement that you've been an HR manager with over 23 years experience. So the person knows that you already have 23 years experience. So you can now capture your achievements, your key competencies. It's told the story for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many pages will you say is proper for a good CV to have?
I don't even advocate you do more than 2 pages.
Okay.
But 3 pages, for me, 3 pages is too long.
Too long.
Yeah. Then the other person was asking, what will you leave out? If you order your CV this way, you will not leave out anything. Remember that I said that in the advert, you've seen what their problem is. You've seen what skills and competencies they are looking out for. So let those be at the front page of your CV. So that when I open your CV, let it be the first thing I see. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Are we following? Can we put our hands together for that answer? Okay. Please go ahead with your question.
It's good. Thank you, Ma, for your session was mind-blowing. And I have a question. You said we should be honest. I've been in scenarios where my honesty was my undoing. Yeah, so about your strengths, about your weaknesses, about your experiences and roles. And I've been honest. And for the fact that I made mention of my strengths was the biggest tick off. No. So in scenarios where you meet those kinds of challenges, like your brother did not expressly mention his salary. Omitting is not outright lying. Is it still advisable to refurbish or package things in such a way?
Yeah, when we are saying be honest, we are not saying tell the story of your life to the interviewer. Of course, you must not say everything. You know those things that you must not say. And when you get into that interview, you should be able to read faces. You should be able to read the disposition of the people there. And wisdom is profitable to direct. There are some things you can withhold. I'm not saying tell a lie. Do not tell a lie. Yeah, but there are some, you must not say everything. You must not say everything.
Okay, thank you very much for that answer, ma'am. I would also want to add this question too, and I also like to direct it to Elder Odongo, because you also run an organization. I was interviewing for, where I started my HR career, I was interviewing for this role, and I had passed the first level and I was now meeting with the MD. I prepared in so many ways, but all he just wanted to do was ask me questions out of my CV. So he started from secondary school, where I went to secondary school. After my secondary school, how many years I stayed at home, all of those questions, everything that he saw on my CV, he was asking me. Any little gap he would ask and all of that. But there are some people who are smooth in talking and they are able to represent that also in their CV. Maybe trying to deceive someone so they can get into an organization. How are you able to detect when someone is trying to be cunning?
As human beings, there is a limit to what you can honestly do. That, like you rightly said, that some people could be very smooth,
Yes.
and maybe be lucky to get away with some tricks. Incidentally, the scenario you've painted are the kind of things I do before I employ anybody into our organization. You come to me, I will ask you, if possible, give me a primary school certificate, because that tells me more about you. At that age, you couldn't have started lying. If, for instance, you tell me, you have the first class in mechanical engineering, and I see your primary school certificate, you did not pass maths. That challenges me to ask you more questions about you and mathematics. I don't know whether what I'm saying
Yes, makes sense.
So, all in all, you may not always be able to catch somebody who is lying, but by the time you probe, you may be lucky and get, like I said, what I do is I use the information on your certificate and your CV to ask you to verify, to confirm. If you claim you did this, how did you do it?
Yes.
Depending on your answer, I may get the right thing.
All right. Thank you very much for that answer. Do we have any more questions?
Sorry.
And Esther, would you also want to add something?
Sorry. I want to add to what you have said concerning Franklin's question. There are some responses that you can give as per weaknesses and strengths that your weakness will sound like a strength too. You are giving a response, but the response should have a quality that portrays something positive, basically. So, for instance, you can say your weakness is honesty. Yes, you can say honesty. It sounds a bit shady, but when you tell the person, you can say reasons like if you see something going wrong in a company, you see that some people are doing some dubious things, or something is just going wrong in the company, you can say, you as a person, you have a value of your qualities is to tell you honestly what is going on. Then it's left for you to do with it that information, but that's a weakness. You have to tell it honestly because you don't want anything to come back to you in the end, right? That's just an instance for the question you asked.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions? Okay, please.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And Ma, thank you so much. When you were talking, I would say it's a mistake that I made recently. I was invited by 2 different organizations. They did not come to me directly. A consultant reached out to me and said, Company A. He didn't mention the name of the company, but he just said, send your CV. I think you will be useful to these people. They want you there. So there was no breakdown of the company, nothing. I didn't have that time. I quickly forwarded. And another consultant also reached out. So later I got a call. One of them called me. We talked briefly. So let's say the company is XYZ Nigeria Limited. And I got a call from the other one. Say that in my mind, I thought it was the other people. And I called, is it so? They said, no, this is new. This is this person. And is a name I have not heard before. And there was no time to research. In that condition, what do I do? Do I need to tell them, see, what do you people do? There are certain questions you will not ask. Though I tried to manage to cover up in the interview, so I didn't go deep in exposing my ignorance. But when you are faced with that kind of situation, what do you do?
All right, so for as much as you have the time to research your company, and well, there's nothing wrong also with asking the recruiter, the consultants, to give you a heads up. So this company, what do they do? Who are they? Yeah, most times the consultant, the recruiter will not tell you the name of the company, but he can tell you what they actually do. So you can have at least a faint idea of who you are talking to. All right? But where you don't have the opportunity at all to know, and they'll ask you, what do they do? Tell them that, sorry, a consultant reached out to me and wasn't specific about what company, I'm being interviewed for.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we put our hands together for that? All right. We've talked about how to craft a winning CV. We've also talked about how to also scale through in your interviews. So Esther, I would also like to ask, there are situations where we've had someone is comfortable in his job, or let me not just say comfortable, but he is not looking out. But some people get his contact one way or the other and try to get him into their own organization. Maybe they see a skill that he has and all of that. How can we place ourselves in that position where people can easily reach out to us even when we are not actively searching?
Okay, I would say professional presence. For instance, a platform like LinkedIn. I'm sure there are some other professional platforms. Put it there. Your information, your details, where you are now, what you have achieved. Just put it out there, just in case something big just comes up. You are not planning to leave. You are comfortable where you are. Maybe you are growing. You are doing fine. But just put yourself out there indirectly, and if anything big comes your way, just comes your way straight up without stressing for it.
All right, thank you. That was a very good response, a good response too that I was looking for. But I would also like to ask too, where do referrals come in? Where do I'm speaking to somebody, I'll say I'm looking for this kind of hand, and he refers me, say this is this person, this is that person, and all of that. Where do we have the place of referrals?
In this case, the person is not searching, right?
Is not?
The person is still not searching.
No, the person is not searching.
I'm not sure.
I think what can happen. Let me use HSC professional as an example.
Okay.
You have organizational activities. If somebody happens to belong to that organization, that profession, and is active, he becomes popular. Everybody in that profession gets to know him or her.
Okay.
If it so happens that a company or an organization needs somebody with that skill, he may as well say, I know Mr. or Mrs. XYZ. Maybe you can look out for such a person.
Okay.
I think so. Being visible in your own profession.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. We have another question. Okay, let's take from Koke, then we'll move over to okay, we'll move over to Pastor Gochuku, then Izu. Okay, Koke.
Good afternoon, ma. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for your section. It was really simple and relatable. Thank you. You talked about a stressed interview where they are going to test your temperament, test if you can work under pressure and all that. And you mentioned something like you're going to use hard words. I don't think I heard like curse, like they're going to curse you or something like that. But in a situation where the words are leaving professional settings into your background and your person, what would you advise? What would you advise the person to respond? Because we know that, yes, they want to test if you react to some things, but there's a difference in your mindset when the person you want to work with is already demeaning you at that point in time. So what would you advise would be the response from the person?
All right, so if you perceive that the person is bringing you down, that's your perception. It might not be true. It might not be what the person has in mind. Whatever happens, just maintain your calm. Be cool. You know, that, like I will always tell my son can come and say, this person said, I am this. And he's feeling all worked out. And my question will be, but is that who you are? And the answer is no. So be happy. All right? So if the person talks to you in a way you don't like, you must not, in fact, you don't need to react. The highest that will happen is they call you to say, want you to come and start. And you said to them, I don't think I can work here. But at that point, just walk away quietly. You don't need to insult them. You don't need to retort. You don't need to talk back. You don't need to show that you are not happy. Keep your smile on. But if it's really something you think you cannot handle, as you are just leaving that place, you cancel them in your heart. Remember that you have the solution they are looking for. So they call you to say, we want you to work. You can now give them that honest feedback. I would have loved to work with you, but my experience when I came for the interview was not palatable. At that point, they will really want to hear you. And you said some people use some very derogatory words on me, and I'm really wondering if I'm coming to work in this organization, is that how they put down their employees? I don't think I can cope. There is a value misalignment.
Thank you very much, man.
Can I say
okay,
something
yes,
here?
please.
I learned something today, this stress interview bit. I wish I'm younger, I would have gone to apply for a job somewhere. Yeah, but it reminds me of what one of my guys told me, that he went for a job. They were asked, normally they would say 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, report. And they went there, many of them. But up to 3 o'clock, nobody talked to them. And people started walking away. What kind of stupid company is this? What kind of this is this? It was around 5, 6 o'clock that somebody walked into the hall, and he was the only person left. Every other person had gone, and that was how he got the job. No, that could be, it's just, today I learned what that meant. Stress interview, because like the kind of scenario she painted, it could be that by the nature of what they expect you to do, you are going to meet challenges. People are going to talk back to you, insult you, like people dealing with communities. I mean, you can go to a community where the youths want to beat you up. Are you going to fight back? So I can imagine that is where maybe something like stress interview could be very useful.
So let me say that too, for interviewers, for employers, that somebody is attending an interview with your company does not make that person less of a human being. If for any reason, I invite people for interview and I'm having a delay, I apologize to them. I say, I'm really sorry. We are going to have 1 hour delay, 2 hours delay. I may provide lunch, make you comfortable. but I apologize. Peradventure, it was an intentional act to test the people's patience, so I waste their time. Please, when I eventually show up and I must have done what I want to do, I should please let them know. I'm sorry for wasting your time, but this was actually part of the interview. We wanted to test your patience level. Let it be known. Do not take people for granted.
Yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Ma. Thank you, SARS. Thank you for a wonderful session and the feedback we've been getting from the panelists. So my question, I don't know if it's been addressed because I stepped out. My question is, in this day of digitalization, there are lots of AI tools, chat GPTs, and there's social media platforms that people are taking advantage now for their CVs and all that. So how can one actually adopt AI tools in drafting their CVs and taking advantage of this digital space with respect to CV creating and then even preparing for interviews? Because I've seen some content, they'll tell you that you just put some keywords in ChatGPT and then they'll just roll out a CV for you and all that. I've not really explored that space, so I don't know what to get. So perhaps you can throw more light.
Yeah, it's actually very correct. We have a lot of tools out there, AI tools that you can use. But do not let AI write your CV that when you now read it, you won't know whose CV it is. You know, let it not be like what our makeup artists do. You know, there was a picture, you know, somebody's makeup, and my brother said the makeup artist is a fraud. You know, do not let it be like that. You understand what I mean? That after doing makeup, your neighbors won't know you again. Even your siblings. Even your siblings will not recognize you again. You know, so it's okay to take advantage of technology. You know, use AI tools to do stuff. But please do not let ChatGPT do your CV that you are not looking for yourself inside the CV.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we go to, okay, have something to say, Esther.
Okay, I was going to say that you can't take the human out of AI, basically. Or I don't know I'm trying to say something. When you're writing your CV, please write by yourself about you. Let it be you. So that if someone is asking you a question about something on your CV, you have the perfect answer, you have a straight answer for it. The only reason why you should use an AI tool is you're looking for a particular term for something. You don't want to use just simple terms. You want to use something that will show quality.
Professional.
You go on AI, type whatever you want to type there, and then extract your answer from it. Go through it and extract your answer. Don't copy and paste. You need to change something. You want to rewrite something. Do your research there. Get the feedback and use it to write your CV. But do not allow AI do the entire CV for you.
All right. Thank you very much for that wonderful response as well. Okay, before I come over to Chris and you, I just wanted to give us this. For the longest that I've known, I have been writing my CVs by myself from when I left the university and also it has always been getting better and better and better. But at some point I was not receiving calls and all of that. So I had to learn. I went on the internet, tried to also learn from HR professionals how to craft a winning CV as well. At some point, when we started hearing about AI, I saw a prompt. In AI, you have something called prompt engineering, where you learn how to impute your purpose, impute what you want the AI to produce for you. I had my CV that I had already crafted by myself, but I wanted it to be better constructed, and also sound, like Esther said, not just. So I asked the AI, craft me a CV, a winning CV with this prompt. I carried my CV and put it in there, and it brought something out for me. I did not do copy and paste. Everything that was there, I read each and every function that I had done to make sure that I actually did those things, because I'll have to defend them. That it's me, that not another person's CV. Because I learned from where I interviewed that you would always have to defend your CV. Okay, so briefly, we'll just take 2 more questions. Yes, Chris, and then bro, go.
Okay, a quick one. Let me come into the AI aspect, actually. AI, you have to give AI what it will work with.
Yes.
You have to feed it what it will work with. You have to write about yourself before giving it to an AI to make it good to present to wherever you want to push it to. Okay, my question. Based on knowledge, tailoring a good CV, you made mention of writing a CV one can see. So I want to ask, what is the best font to use when writing a CV, and what is the font size to use when writing a CV for knowledge purpose?
Well, I don't think there is any one size fits all, But I think anything from font size 10 to 12, it's okay. Anything smaller than 10 is going to be too small. Anything bigger than 12 might be too large. Anything between, that the most company, the official font size usually ranges between that 10 and 12, some 11. So anything 10 to 12 is fine. Then when you look at the font types, I wouldn't want you to go use all those cursive-like font types. Those straight legible fonts. There is no hard and fast rule to say it must be Arial, it must be this, it must be that. But just look at the font type and see that it is readable.
All right, thank you. I hope your question is answered. So our last question.
Okay, I'm sorry I'm asking too many questions. I have just 2. One, about my CV. I noticed for a long time I was not getting calls, I was not getting invitations and all that. So, especially the IOCs, I met one of the HR manager. I said, why is it that you will advertise for a role that I know I'm qualified for? And I send him my CV. You guys don't even no response, nothing. Immediately you reject it as if you're waiting for me to drop my CV. So the guy told me something. He said they have a tool that they use to filter CVs. Companies like Shell, when they advertise, over 10,000 persons, and you don't expect them to read. So I should use ATS standard to develop my CV. So I will need your counsel in that area. Which one is more recent in developing CV? Second, should I ask the second question? So the second question is, something happened recently and I don't regret it. I was not taken for a job. It's an LNG facility. So after the interview, I noticed they were impressed. So they asked me, do you have a question? And I had this question in my heart. I will ask it here. I asked them, who do you know your competitors and what do you think is your advantage over them? The guys they were a bit, are you trying to, I said, no, I want to help you in a way. Because what they were doing in my own right is wrong. I don't want to call names. So they have a very big LNG facility. They are buying from the bigger LNG. So they want to use size to suppress the other ones that are buying directly from the drillers, the IOCs. And I said, these ones can cripple you with price, though you have a bigger facility. So do you know your advantage. He said, why do you? I said, if for me to live where I am working, I need a place that is secure, that I can plan long term with. So forget your size. What are your growth plans? If it's not in line with me, I may not work with you. That was the explanation I gave them. And eventually, they didn't call me, and I'm happy they did not call me. But the question I'm asking now, is it wrong coming from my own perspective? If you're in that panel and I come up with this kind of question, what will be your response?
Well, I don't think it was a wrong question you asked. You are basically asking them, what are your winning strategies? What are your values, your core value? What are your value propositions? What will make you stand out in the midst of a multitude? So I don't think it's a bad question. I don't know how you asked it, but I don't think it's a bad question that you asked. All right, then coming to the application tracking systems, for big organizations, nobody's going to start reviewing your CVs. I forgot to say that. So they do keywords. But I said something that when you look at the adverts, you already know what they are looking for. You ensure that your CV reflects those things. So when they log in the system receives your CV. Most times for people that use ATSs, you don't just submit CV. They provide you a template and you key in your CV. So they just check whether the information you are giving is aligning with what they already, put in there, that is their standard or whatever. And if you qualify, it's like a yes or no answer. It's like 1 or 0. You understand? It's logic, 1 or 0. So it's either it's a 1 or it's a 0. All right.
All right. Thank you very much for these wonderful responses. So in closing, if you are clapping, clap. Thank you very much. So in closing, can we just get briefly closing remarks from the three of you, starting from Madam Chinyere?
All right, so I would like to tell you that you have what it takes to get that job out there. Packaging is very important. Starting from the way you package yourself, your CV, and the way you show up for the interview. Make sure you show up the right way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Elder.
I will only repeat a statement that was put up when the advert for this program was put up. Do not lie
on your CV.
They
will catch you.
Be real. Be real. If you fail one chance, go update your skill. There is always another chance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Esther?
Okay, so mine is that when you are done crafting your CV, please always make sure you get a second eye to look at it. Just in case you are too used to seeing your CV, you are tired of looking at it. It's possible that one or two things, you are not spotting one or two things, but if you get another eye, it's possible the person will see something that would help out. And then lastly, for interviews, please always make sure that everything you say links to what you are applying for. Don't come for an engineering position or something. You're talking about music. Please just focus on the role you are applying for. Let everything be channeled to that particular thing.
Thank you very much. Can we put our hands together as they go back to that? They take their seats. Don't stop clapping till they sit down. Let us put our hands together as they go back to their seats. Can we keep clapping? It's not easy to stand on this stage and give out knowledge this way. Let us clap till they go back to their seats. Thank you very much, our distinguished panelists for this session. We are very appreciative. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished moderator, for handing over the mic. Please, I'd like you to do something for me as we wrap this event up. Help me look at the person by your side. Flash them a genuine and generous smile. If there's nobody by your side, you can do that to me. Thank you. Ask the person, are you taking something out of this meeting? Please get an answer. That you go, I hope it's not the Coke that you're taking out. So on behalf of Career Connect and 24 Karat, thank you very much for coming. Special appreciation to all of the organizers that put this together and everybody who has worked behind the scene. Special thanks to our panelists. You have made this event worth it. My ask will be that as you step out of this place, that you take the things that have been said, that you actually work them into your routine so that you can get that job you have looked for, and that by the next interview you will attend, there will be a marked difference, that even you will know that I am not where I used to be. See you at the top. God bless and good night.